Well, the visa officer made it clear that he or she wanted to see that your investment capital were contributed towards establishing the business. So the business was already running for a period of time, and your investment is really to grow the business. The officer, has already expressed dissatisfaction with that. So certainly you can reapply again and try to argue that your additional investment should be considered at risk. And I think there's an argument to be made that it is a risk because the money that you're putting into this business for growth to get a physical facility, if the business goes bankrupt, you lose your money. That's certainly at risk. So I think the officer took an interpretation from his or her own point of view that E2 investment should be made to establish the business. Now, the law doesn't say that. So that's a bit of an interpretation. So you can certainly apply, and hopefully you get a new visa officer that has a different point of view and is more sympathetic, will grant you the visa. However, in reality, visa officer typically they will respect their colleague's decision unless there are major change in circumstances. When you go to interview after a prior visa denial and you're reapplying based on the same business, know that the visa officer, in his or her mind, the first question in his or her mind is, what has changed? What is different? If nothing is different, then I should just respect my colleague's decision and deny you again. So you got to be ready to go into the interview and the first 10 seconds be able to express like big changes has happened and allow me to explain what they are. It's a very different situation. Let me show you what I mean. And then once the officer understands that, oh, big changes, then they open up their mind and they're more willing to listen. If you give them the feeling from the beginning that is relatively the same, not huge, not significant changes, they might just kind of shut down and say, no, we're done here, denied again. So that's been my experience. You got to be ready to show material significant changes.